So what we're going to do today is we're going to make some glass lace bobbins. So some of you might have seen lace making, in which they have loads and loads of wooden bobbins traditionally on a pillar, and they're pushed to one side and held back with a divider pin. And if you watched the video last week, you saw Teresa making the divider pins. Now we've always made lace bobbins in glass, nice and cool to work with for the lace maker, and they're very strong, a lot stronger than what you think of. All we're working with today is we've got a graphite reamer, we've got a pair of stainless tweezers, a little bit of Effectra 8 to 9mm diameter rod, so we've got a turquoise and a bottle green, then we've got a cranberry and a white, and we'll put some stringers down which I'll show you later as well. So I've got on a little piece of graphite here. I've got sort of stop-go scratches, marks, so that I know how big I want to make the bobbin and how long and where to put little dimples in and stuff like that. So we'll start off. Obviously I'm working on a minor burner with a 5 litre oxycon, and what I'll do is I'll pull the neck of this bobbin. So this one will be a rope twist bobbin. So it's 8 to 9mm rod, so you need to just gently preheat it in the top of the flame for a couple of seconds, and then when you're confident, bring it down. We're going to take the end off with tweezers, just get rid of the bubbles and the snags. So if you imagine you're pulling a stringer, this stringer needs to be quite thick. It needs to be in sort of the 3 to 4mm bracket, because this becomes the neck of the bobbin. And the reason bobbins, when they're made in glass this way, are so strong is because they're all made of one piece of glass. There's nothing added on. It's a straight strength running through the bobbin. So I'll take this little piece of, well, I'll take this bit of teal. And as you can see, I'm heating up about 1 inch to 1 1/4 inches of the rod. And I'll just tack on and then carry on heating up a little bit more, because this, as I said, this stringer that I'm going to pull needs to be nice and thick. Because when the bobbin's finished, this part gets used to load all the cotton onto. And so just build it up and then out of the flame, start to let gravity stretch it out. No rush, you can always just go back in the flame. It's soft glass, so you're just working it through the flame ever so softly, stretching it out again. If you see you've got any thick areas, just back in the flame and stretch it a little bit more. And this will be around about 3 inches long, which is perfectly great for the neck of the bobbin. And what we're going to use is the handle as well. So I'll just take this piece of glass off here. And just for speed, I've got one that I made earlier on with turquoise glass. And so heating the main part of the rod, again, quite high up in the flame to stop it cracking and shattering. And when you've got a little bit of heat in there, you can bring it back down in the flame. So I need to build this up, because with this piece here I'm going to form the body of the bobbin. And this is going to be a rope twist effect. So I'm going to crimp the glass and then twist it over on itself to form that rope. So although I've got 8 to 9mm I'm starting with, I'm pushing it together now, making it 10 to 12mm diameter. And I'm going to need about 1 inch of glass built up. This just takes about another 30 seconds. I'm just going to take off the larger rod, and then I'm going to heat the whole of the body of what will become the bobbin. I want to get it nice and evenly heated, and then with a pair of stainless steel or tungsten tweezers, whichever you have, I'm just going to crimp it right down the centre. And when I start to fold this over, it will form the rope twist. And rather than using shears to cut the glass down the centre, when you fold that over, it's in effect it's two pieces of glass folding over itself. This is still one piece of glass. It's so the strength is always there. So just about getting to the right point where I can look to crimp it. And there we go. And then taking another spare rod of glass, just as a puntee. So I'll just cold seal tap it on, and then again I'm going to heat this crimped sort of paddle that we've got now. And as you start to twist it over itself to form that rope twist, it'll also, you can start to stretch it a little bit, because you want it down to around about, I would have said 7mm, 7 to 8mm body. I'm always stretching and twisting outside the flame. So keep popping it back in the flame to heat it. And you've got quite a lot of residue heat in the body of the bobbin, so if you need to go back towards the top to heat it, to thin it out a little bit, it's not a huge problem. Just concentrate on getting it nice and straight now. So I'm turning it until it sets nice and hard. Then I'm going to turn it round, turn the flame down to a nice tight flame, and just on the shoulder of where the point goes into the rope twist, I need to form a neck. So just heating this in the tip of the flame ever so gently, and then just push it together so that this stops the cotton moving down the body of the bobbin. Again, make sure it's nice and straight in line with the body, and then this is where you go to your stop go mark, and because you want to know where to take the end of the bobbin off, so that if you start making a few of them, they're all the same length. Obviously, what you don't want is to have different lengths of bobbins and different, because that equates to different weights. So just check it against the stop go, take a little bit more off. That's perfect. And now the only part of the bobbin that is a separate piece of glass is the eye. And so I'm just going to tack on the rod here, and I'm going to pull this eye out about 3 times bigger than I actually want it, because I'm going to melt it in and create strength in the eye as it starts to shrink back. I'm going to go around the other side and using the edge of the flame, and then just with the reamer, as we start to melt this back, higher up in the flame so you've got a little bit more control. Just use your reamer to stop, check, and just round, and make sure the eye is level with the body, straight, and there we go. So that can go straight in the kiln now. So to finish off the bobbin, this is the one we made earlier, you need to have a head. So the neck of the bobbin will be loaded with cotton and thread, but the head of the bobbin is quite crucial, in that you need to have a little ridge and then like a thistle head coming off the top. And with that, they can knot the cotton around that to stop the cotton slipping and sliding off and everything. So it's probably quite useful to have a little marker pen. And with your stop go again, just pop a little mark on the stringer. This will burn off as soon as you put it in the flame. So very fine flame on the miner, and we're just going to heat it, and then just push it together to form a little donut, and then go a little bit further up, around about sort of 10mm, with the stringer, pull a little bit off, and then start to melt it back evenly. And just paddle it down with the back of your tweezers, graphite paddle, stump shaper, until it's just lined up perfectly as a little thistle head. And you've just got enough room in there just to lock, for the lace maker to lock the thread. And there we go, that's the head of your lace bobbin. So that's your rope twist bobbin, and also we've made you a posy bobbin as well. So the second bobbin we're going to make is called a posy bobbin. Again, a lace maker's bobbin, but the style is in a posy, so we have a posy of flowers on the bottom. So a little bit of prep work in this. So I've got white 204 from Infectra and a little bit of cranberry, which I think is 456. We've also got a dark green, a bottle green 028. These are all transparent colours. And so I'm just going to do an encased stringer as a little bit of prep work. Do this with the cranberry and the white, and then when the stringer goes on, you give it a little twist as you flatten it on, and it creates sort of like a little mini rosebud. So just taking the white rod as it is in 4 to 5 mil, and then just melting down the edge a little thin wall of cranberry, and again just work your way around the rod with the cranberry. You could go this way around if you wanted to. For some reason I just enjoy going downwards really. And to me, this sort of the colours that we're working with now, which are real dark transparent greens, cranberries, and encased glasses, just remind me so much of like the Venetian colours and styles. So just melt the cranberry onto the white, get a nice good seal, and you can use your marver as well if you want. And then using the cranberry rod, I'm going to pull this out into a little stringer. It's only going to be around about 2 to 3 inches long. It's not a huge stringer, but it's all we need for this little demo. And this will be stringer size. It's going to be sort of 1.5 to 2 mil. And then when you've got a nice straight cranberry encased stringer, we just take it off there, pop it there for a couple of seconds, we'll take the end off. And now, with the rod that I pulled the point with earlier on, I'm going to go to the top of the flame, because again it's 8 to 9 millimeter diameter, so if you went straight into the flame it could easily shatter and crack. Turn the propane up a little bit to get a little stronger flame. So I'm going to heat up the 8 to 9 mil body. I'm going to let it build up to around about sort of 12 to 15 mil and about 1 inch long, and then I'm going to stretch it down. The body of this bobbin I want to be about 7 mil. And nice, and it's obviously nice and smooth. I don't want any lumps and bumps in the body. And so to create that, it's just so much easier to build it up into a big lump, get it all even heated, make sure the heat's everywhere around the lump of glass before you stretch it out, and then it should pull out without lumps and bumps. So this is going to take a couple of minutes. Just as we're getting there, we'll swap hands and start to melt the whole body up. So like I said, I've created this lump of glass around about sort of 12 mil diameter, about 1 inch long, and I'm just going to melt it through and make sure we get a nice even heat all the way through the body of the glass. so that when I come out the flame to stretch it, it's going to be smooth and it's going to pull hopefully in an even rod. So I'm just letting gravity start you off. And if there's any areas I think are looking a little bit thicker, I can always just warm them through the flame. So as with the rope twist, you need to make sure the body is nice and straight to the neck. So keep turning it for a couple of seconds. Turn the flame down again to a nice sharp pinpoint. So where the shoulder of the bobbin, the body forms with the neck that you pull down, we need to put that little ridge in again. And as I said before, this is stop the thread falling down the body. Again, make sure the bobbin is nice and straight. Now go to your stop-go mark, and this will just give you a clue where to set the body off. And then just check back, so I left a fair bit on there to be truthful. So what I'm going to do now is put the eye on first. Again, remember, make the eye 2 to 3 times bigger than you need, and then as you melt it back, you'll not only increase the strength, but you'll get rid of the weaknesses as well. So, and then using the reamer, you obviously use tungsten pokers. And just check the straightness of the eye. And if you want to stop there, you've got yourself a plain lace bobbin. If we go a little bit further with the stringer we made earlier on, so this is the cranberry. And what I'm going to do is put 3 lumps of cranberry on. Give it like a little twist, and then using a stump shaper, we just flatten them. I might have miscounted actually, I think I'm going to end up putting 4 on. So 4 little beads of cranberry and white stringer. And then the same with the white and the bottle green stringer, but this time just going in between the pink dots. And then just warm them through. And make sure you've got a good seal to the body of the bobbin. And there's the posy bobbin, and that would the little posy of flowers around the bottom, and that goes straight so cut. And start again. And there we've got a little posy bobbin. So you've got the posy flowers with the pink coming back at the bottom around the base of the bobbin, and that goes straight in the kiln.